Tonight, I'm going to be showing you how to turn a solid brass hardware, rollerball and fountain pen. The solid brass kits come from a company called Prokraft, Prokraft, in the UK, prokraft.co.uk. And what we're looking at, hopefully you can see this, is a solid brass top, solid brass nib section, and whatever it is you'd like to turn. I used Amboina burl on this one, which is the rollerball. And for the fountain pen, I used a blank from Kayla Cooper that incorporates dried flowers into the blank. And this is also Amboina burl. This one is the fountain pen. And this has a regular fountain pen filler inside. So there we go. Well, that's what it looks like. These things, as John just found out, are extremely lightweight despite the brass, and very easy to turn. There are no tubes in here. We don't have to glue any tubes in. There are no bushings. What we do, let me get the other one out, do it that way. What we do is we drill a hole into the blank. Yep, that's one, there we go. Drill a hole into the blank and fit the threaded section into the blank. It goes down roughly 18 millimeters. And then we use that to hold the blank while we turn it. The brass threads are flat as opposed to the raised threads that you see in most places, which allows you to grip that into a chuck or a, in my case, a collet chuck, and so that you can turn the pen to the desired shape. And we will turn it down so that it meets roughly the diameter of the threaded insert. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. I'm going to be turning two pens, the rollerball. I'll be using one of Tim McKenzie's, let's see if we can get a better one, a better shot. One of Tim McKenzie's DiamondCast Blanks. And this should go well with the brass. And for a fountain pen, I'll be using red Coolibah burl from Australia. All right. So first thing we need to do is drill our holes. And
I'm gonna move you to that camera.
Yep.
This long camera.
And I'm using the Nova pen jaws. Okay. We have two different drill bits we're using. We're using a 6.5 millimeter drill bit first to start off with. And I don't know if you can see that mark I've got.
Let me zoom that out.
Yeah. Here I can get. Okay. I've got a little mark right here as for the depth, and that is 68 millimeters. This being a British kit, everything is in metric. So we'll get started by drilling our hole. Going to drill at about 550 RPMs. I'm going to back out every so often, clear the swarf. Have any of you ever turned a DiamondCast before? Because
yeah, I've done that.
Because it is a dream to turn. You'd think that because of the diamonds in it, that it would be a problem, but it really is not.
Yeah, the diamonds don't seem to have any effect on the drilling of it.
Right. Just trying to get my mark lined up so I can see it.
John, do you ever use oil with the drill bit when you're drilling in the acrylic?
I have not used it. I know people do use it, but I've not used it yet. Barry Gross actually sells a lubricant that he often uses with his acrylic blanks. And quite frankly, I've not found a need for it yet, but that doesn't mean it won't, I won't at some point in time. Okay, we have our 6.5 millimeters drill bit, and that has been drilled down to 68 millimeters roughly. I was looking for my little.
Is the depth the same for the fountain and the rollerball?
Pretty much. You can go a little bit deeper on the rollerball. And I just wanted to double check, make sure I had the right.
Are these dimensions and drill sizes included in their instructions?
Yes, they are. Yeah, so this one is down to 68 millimeters, exactly. The blank is obviously a little bit longer than 68 millimeters, and that's because we're going to have to shape it at the end to give it that closed end look. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is take a 9 millimeter drill bit. And we're going to drill it down to this little mark here, which is the 18 millimeter mark. Let me just double check that, just to make sure.
Hey, Bob, speaking of DiamondCast, have you seen Tim's his new one, the Yemeni Blue?
No, I've not really followed his products.
It's amazing. It's I think it's the first pigment that has been found in over 100 years.
Yeah, this is yttrium, iridium, and manganese. And this is what it looks like.
Hold it directly over the other DiamondCast.
Yeah. It is absolutely spectacular. Almost looks like lapis lazuli.
That's a pretty spectacular blue.
And this is exclusive to Tim. Okay, we are at 18 millimeters with my mark. And if you go a little bit beyond 18 millimeters, it's not going to hurt. Okay. So we now have this one drilled out 65 millimeters with a 6.5 millimeter drill bit, and 18 millimeters with a 9 millimeter drill bit. Now, we are going to take the kit. It's just very simple kit. It's just a couple of parts. Just try not to lose the spring, which I've already done once. So we take the threaded insert, put it into the blank. And what we're going to do, and what I would normally do, is I would use epoxy to put this in. But because of we don't have 2 days or a day and a half to do this, I'm going to use thick CA to glue this in. And all I'm going to do is coating the barrel of the thing, the insert, with thick CA. Put it in. I'm going to get a paper towel first. Make sure that we don't have any bleed out on the brass.
John, if you apply the CA glue to the inside of the tube, you don't have to worry about that.
The only problem is if you, because the drill bit, or the depth of here is another 18 millimeters down, or another 63 millimeters down, I don't want to get any glue in the tube itself.
Gotcha, makes sense.
Say again?
You're right, that makes sense. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so that could interfere with getting the refill in. So, I've got a small collet chuck here with a 9-10 millimeter This one does not seem to want to go in, so fortunately, I have the next size collet up. And that seems to be a nice fit. So this is a 10, 11 millimeter collet.
By the way, that's extremely important that you snap your collet inside the nut before you tighten it up, otherwise it won't work.
Absolutely correct, Joe. Absolutely.
I didn't even see Joe snuck in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. I just snuck on in here.
That should be fine. We'll turn it on and see. If this starts wiggling, everybody run. Okay. Now we will take a live center. Bring up a live center. We've got a little extra room back here so that we can shape it. So putting a little bit of pressure on the live center is not going to be a problem. Okay, that works. I don't know what fell. Something fell. Hopefully it wasn't a camera.
Not yet.
Okay. Many of you may have seen me turn before, and what I have used in the past are carbide tip tools, negative rake, carbide tip tools. Like this is a negative rake tool from T-Shadow. And I've also used the Easy Wood Tools miniature negative rake tools. However, what I'm going to do now, today, is turn with traditional tools. We have a little spindle gouge, and we have a skew chisel.
All right.
Yeah, we will be using this as well, Joe.
Joe just got excited.
Yep. And just because Mama wants me to, I'll be wearing my face shield. And we'll be turning this at about 3,400 RPM. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're fine.
Right.
John, can I make a comment?
Yes, you may.
When you come in from the end, never come in from the end with an open chisel. You get a catch on that corner and tear it up. Always start off the end and work toward the end, and then you can do your inward cut. But if you come in from the end with that tool, you will get a catch.
Got it. Thank you, Joe.
That stuff really cuts nice.
Yes, it does. This is Alumilite Clear Slow. The only thing that Tim McKenzie uses is the Alumilite Clear Slow.
And he uses the body.
Yeah, he and Eugenio Soto and a few others get their Alumilite from the whoever they get it from, whether it's Curtis or some of the other folks. They get it by the pallet load. I'm just to show you there is no chip out on this thing. This Alumilite is really fine, fine stuff. One of the problems I have with this is you can't see the brass fitting too well with all this Alumilite taking up the room back here. And I need to see that. There are no bushings, as I said before, but you need to have some kind of reference to see how far down you need to turn this. And we're getting there. So I think I'm going to switch to Joe's favorite tool, the Skew Chisel. And to do that, you need to loosen the grub screws. Take the other tool out.
John, what size is that skew? It seems awfully small.
A 1/2 inch. I'll double check that.
Well, I do believe you.
No, I just wanted to make sure myself. Yep, that's a 1/2 inch. Okay. The benefit of wood over acrylic. We're almost there. I think sandpaper will get me the rest of the way there.
Do the instructions tell you what size, what dimension you need to turn it down to, equivalent to the bushing size?
They say to whatever size you're comfortable with, or that fits your profile that you like, but you want to make sure that this end here is flush with the bushing or the fitting. Left-handed, Joe.
Say again?
Left-handed.
Yeah, you may keep that cutting edge at 45 degrees to the rotation. There you go. There's no nicer cut than that in wood turning.
Yep.
Joe, you'd be proud of me. I was practicing for next week's demo and actually turned the finial with using nothing but a skew.
That's the way you learn. That's exactly how you learn.
It was a cheap piece of walnut. I just went down with it. I didn't care if I messed up or not.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the thing chisel, the spindle gouge, because I want to try to get around the end there. I have 3 more handles coming for 3 different tools, and I was hoping to have them here tonight so I didn't have to shift it out of keep changing the tools in the handle, but unfortunately that didn't work out that way. These tools, by the way, are Crown Cryo tools, and
I got you back over it.
okay, they're Crown Cryo tools, and they're the miniature Crown Cryo tools. The handles are from Axminster. They're small, little, very heavy handles, so they're very comfortable in the hand. Okay. That just popped out. That's okay. That's because the collet came loose.
I think we got some centripetal force going against us here.
I'll edit this part out later.
Say again?
I'll edit this part out later.
Okay.
Trouble probably is the collet doesn't have much to grab onto.
That's probably true.
And before we started tonight, I suggested to John that if they, next time he orders, just order a spare cap and put the cap into pin jaws, screw the pin in, and turn it back on.
Yep, that's an idea. I'm going to try to just nibble away. No, we're not seated. Okay. And now we'll take some sandpaper. I'm going to be using micro mesh, which is my go-to. Oops.
Cabernet.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Abranet. My go-to sanding medium. Bring this down to around 800 RPMs. And I'm using 180 right now.
John, are you able to get rid of the little pinhole left by the live center?
That's what I'm working on right now. And it's gone.
John, do you have a live center with interchangeable tips on it by any chance?
Yes, I do. I have a couple of them, but one of them is in my other lathe at the moment. And the other one is, there's one in a drawer, and I have another one somewhere around here. They're one-way, whatchamacallits, live centers.
You can take a wooden dowel and replace that tip with a wooden dowel and make you a soft touch.
Yep, that's a
the
good
end of
idea.
that. Really saves your tool and you won't have that issue.
Yep, that's a really great idea. I'm surprised I don't have it up here. 'Cause I usually have one at each lathe. Not sure where the other one is.
You'll find it when you buy another.
Oh yeah, exactly. Okay, now we're going to take this and go along, try to get rid of those radial scratches. Now, when I sand, I take a paper towel or a piece of a paper towel and get rid of all the other marks before I switch grits. Moving up to 240.
John, when you're sanding like that, are you also sanding the brass?
I'm trying not to, but
Okay.
I can sand the brass. The brass does take sanding and polishing. So, but I try not to. I try to go right up to the edge, but if I get a little bit over, then I get a little bit over.
Are you dry sanding right now, John?
I am dry sanding right now. In fact, on this, I will not be using water at all. When I do the micro mesh, I will be using the micro mesh sheets, and I do not use water with these guys. And I still get a beautiful, beautiful finish and shine. Okay, so now we're going to do micro mesh. Start at 1500. And we'll just run right through the pads. 1500, 1800, 2400, 32, 36, 4000, 6000, 8000, 12,000.
Is there a reason that you're dry sanding versus wet sanding that?
I find, well, one, I don't get water on my lathe. And two, I find that the shine I get with this is equal or better than the shine I get with wet sanding. But for wood, I don't. For a CA finish, I do sometimes wet sand.
Okay, and then we finish up with 12,000. And it's shiny. But it's not shiny enough. So now, we'll get a clean paper towel. And use a little bit of the,
Hold it up over here. Hold it over the blank.
oh,
There you go.
yeah. There it is, McGuire's Plastex. Just a little bit. And crank it up. And just for GPs, just a little bit more. This time it's just a little dab. And how does that look?
That looks mighty fine.
Now we're going to take, just as a paste de resistance, a tiny bit of we got the right here, Renaissance wax. Put it on with the finger. Burn it in until it starts getting warm, a little bit sticky. Then take a clean section of the cloth. Et voila.
It's gleaming.
It's in the gloaming, yes. Okay. I don't know if you can see the threads or not, but there are, take my word for it, they are not marred. I can give it to John and John can attest. Attest.
I attest.
Okay, they are not marred at all. We have a nice set of threads. Now, we will try to find the rest of the pen.
Zoom in on that camera just a bit.
I know I had it here.
There was a piece on the lathe that very early in the demo you did knock down onto the floor.
Really, was that? Nope, here it is. Okay. We have the cap.
The refill. The nib. I did this the other day, trying to get the spring out, and I got it all the way down to the end, knowing that if I'd screwed it up, it would fly off and I'd never find it. And I was just carefully bringing it down, and wouldn't you know it, it flew out and I never found it. There's another kit around here somewhere begging for a spring. So you take the spring, drop it in, take your refill, drop it in, take your nib, well, take your little thingy off the front, take your nib, screw it in, take your cap, screw it on, and there you have a DiamondCast solid brass rollerball pen. Ah, okay.
Very nice.
John, I came in a little late. What is that kit called?
This is called Solid Brass Pen Kit. The company is Prokraft in the UK. Prokraft with a K, Prokraft.co.uk. I forget how much they cost, but they weren't all that much.
I was just on the website, they're like 5 or 6 pounds, whatever that is in dollars.
Yep, that's about $7.50. So they're not that expensive. And the fact that you don't need to have a bushing or bushings, and you don't need to have mandrels, you don't need to have tubes, makes this kit really nice. It'll get you on your way to kitless is what it will do, sort of. But it gets you a really nice closed-end pen with no little hole in the end. Okay.